Hello students, today we are moving on to quadratic inequalities. Now, show graphically the solution set of the following: x squared minus 2x minus 3 is less than 0. So first of all, you are going to factorize this quadratic equation. So we realize that what we will give x squared is x times x. What will give you minus 3 is 1 times minus 3. Let's check if it gives us what is in the middle. X times minus 3 is minus 3x. X times 1 will give us plus x. Minus 3x plus x is minus 2x. So you can see that it gives us what is in the middle. So we now write our factors this way. So we are having x plus 1 and x minus 3 is less than 0. So you have x plus 1 and x minus 3 is less than 0. Because of the controversy of this less than sign, first of all, let's resolve for the value of x first. So we say x plus 1 is equal to 0. X when plus 1 crosses the equality sign, you're having is equal to minus 1. And x minus 3 is equal to 0. When plus minus 3 cross here, now turn to plus 3, you have x is equal to 3. So x is equal to minus 1 and 3. So for us to be able to know if we are to put less than or greater than sign, this is what we are going to do. Try to draw the number line. You realize that what x on the number line, the value of x is minus 1. Let's draw the circle on minus 1 and that of 3. Let's draw the circle on 3. Now, if you now try to look at it, the number in between minus 1 and 3, we have 0, 1 and 2. So we can decide to put any of this number in the quadratic equation. So let's try to put it there. I'm going to choose 0. So that means 0 squared minus 2 into bracket 0 minus 3. 0 squared is 0 minus 2 times 0 is 0 minus 3. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 3 will give us minus 3. Now we have minus 3 less than 0. So minus, is it true that minus 3 is less than 0? Yes. Since minus 3 is less than 0, it means that the values of x will be between this number. So the value of x will be here between 1 and minus 3. So if you look at it, the value of x here is what? Greater than minus 1. So x here will be greater than minus 1. And the value of x here is what? Less than 3. So an x here is less than 3. So you can rewrite this one as minus 1 is less than x. If you want to join this to it, that means same thing as x is less than 3. So that's it. So whenever you solve the quadratic equation, to decide which of the sign, if greater than or less than, you are going to put there. First of all, solve for each of the value. Try to place it on the number line. Now, pick a number between those values in which the value of s can be. After solving it, substitute into the quadratic equation. When you substitute, after substituting, then your result, now compare it. Minus 3 is less than 0. That is true. If it is true, the value of x will be in between this ring. You now interpret it. So here x is what? X is greater than minus 1 and x is less than plus 3. Now we are having this equation. Now x squared minus 2x minus 3 is greater than 0. This time around we are picking greater than 0 here. Trying to note that it's different from the first question, which is just less than. Though the same figure, but this particular question is greater than 0. So you resolve again, solve the quadratic equation. X times x will give us this. 1 times minus 3 will give us this. X times minus 3 is minus 3x. X times 1 will give us plus x. Minus 3x plus x will give us minus 2x. So it gives us what is the middle. So it means the factors are x plus 1 times x minus 3 is greater than 0. So you now resolve each of them. Since we don't know the sign we have to put, you say x plus 1 is equal to 0. Bring this plus 1 to this side. Now turn to x minus 1. X is equal to minus 1. Here you have x minus 3 is equal to 0. You bring this minus 3 to this side. Now turn to x is equal to plus 3. Now, to be able to decide which of the sign that should be that you need to apply, you draw your number line. Draw your circle on minus 1 for minus 1 and this one on 3. Again, you have your quadratic equation. Let's pick a number between this minus 1 and 3. I'm picking 0. If I substitute 0 for x, that means x 0 square minus 2 times 0 minus 3 is greater than 0. So 0 square is 0, 2 times 0 is 0, minus 3 greater than 0. 0 minus 0 minus 3 give us minus 3 is greater than 0. Here, you now apply your knowledge of numbers. Is it true that minus 3 is greater than 0? No. Normally, minus 3 is smaller than 0. So, because you can say that this equation is false. Because it is false, you know that you pick the value in between these numbers, abi? So, because it's false, that means the value of x will not be in between this. It will be outside this. So, that means the value of x will be here and this place. Since what your resolve here, minus 3 is greater than 0 is not true. That is false. Because it is false, you pick 0 from here that you were able to resolve to get this. You pick it in between in this number. Because of that, since it is false, you are going to the value of x should not be in between this number. It should be outside the number. So the value of x should be here and this place. So if you look at it here, the value of x here is less than minus 1. So the number here are less than minus 1. So then the value of x here is what? Less than minus 1. And the value of x here is what? Greater than 3. The value of x here is greater than 3. So the values of x here is what? Less than minus 1 and greater than minus 3. So this particular one is not convergent. So that means the value of x is less than minus 1 and the value of x is greater than minus 3. At the solution of the quadratic equation. Now let's have another example. If you are having 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 is less than or equal to 0. So again, this is a quadratic equation you have to factorize. So when you factorize, x times 2x gives us 2x squared. 2 times minus 1 will give us minus 2. You check if it gives us what is the middle. X times minus 1 is what? Minus x. 2x times 2 will give us plus 4x. Minus x plus 4x is what? 3x. So that means those are the values we needed. So now write it this way. You have x plus 2, x minus 1 is less than or equal to 0. Now, you are going to solve this. We don't know the sign we need to put there. First of all, let's resolve. So you can say x plus 2 is equal to 0. When plus crosses the equality sign, turn to minus 2. Here also, we have 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. When minus 1 crosses the equality sign, turn to what? Plus 1. We now have 2x plus is equal to 1. So to get x, divide both side by 2. So you are having 1, x is equal to 1 over 2. Now x is equal to 1 over 2 or 0.5. Now to be able to know if you have to put less than or greater than sign, let us now check. First of all, draw your number line. Now we having x is what? Minus 2. Come to minus 2, draw it. Because of the equality sign, we having less than or equal to, you shade it here. Also s is equal to what? 0.5. 0.5 is in between 0 and 1. So that means you are going to shade it. Now the numbers in between minus 2 and 0.5, we having minus 1 and we having 0. So you are now going to substitute into the equation 2x squared plus 3s minus 2 less than or equal to 0. So I'm going to pick 0 here. So when I pick 0, so if I substitute 0 here, so 2 into bracket 0 square plus 3 times 0 minus 2. 0 square is 0. 0 times 2 will give me what? 0. 3 times 0 is 0 minus 2 less than 0. 0 plus 0 minus 2 give us minus 2 is less than 0. Is it true that minus 2 is less than 0? Yes. Minus 3 is normally less than 0. Because of that, you know that I pick the value of minus 2 in between these things. So that means the value of x should be in between these two solutions. This should be, value of x should be here. So yeah, it means that x is what? Greater than minus 2 here. So that means decide how to put here. So greater than or equal to minus 2. And the value of x is what? Yeah, the value of x is yeah, the value of x is less than or equal to what? Or equal to 0.5. So the value of x here is less than or equal to 0.5. So this one can still be written as minus 2 is less than or equal to x. So if I bring these two together, I say minus 2 is less than or equal to x, and while x is less than or equal to 0.5. I hope you are getting me. Now let's do another example. 2x squared plus 3s minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. First of all, let us factorize this. When you factorize, so x times 2x will give us 2x squared minus 2 times minus 1 will give us minus 2. Let's check if it gives us what is in the middle. X times minus 1 is what? Minus s. 2x times 2 will give us plus 4x. Minus s plus 4s is what? 3s. So that means these are the factors: x plus 2 and 2x minus 1. So x plus 2 times 2x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. So since we don't know the sign we have to put there yet, first of all, let's find the values first. So x plus 2 is greater than 0 is equal to 0 when minus 2 plus 2 comes here, now turn to minus 2. X minus is equal to minus 2. Also here you're having 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. Minus 1 will come in, now turn to a plus 1. So to find x, divide both side by 2. When you divide both side by 2, x will be what? 1 over 2. 1 over 2 is same thing as 0.5. Now let's try to draw the number line. So when you draw the number line, now we are having minus 2. X is what? Greater than or equal to, because it's also equal to, we are going to shade it. Also 0.5. So 0.5 is between 0 and 1. So now we are now going to pick, since this number is the value for x is between minus 2 and 0.5, between minus 1 and 0. Let's pick 0 and resolve it into the equation to see the result. So if you resolve it into the equation, you now realize minus 2 is greater than 0. Now you need to check Is it true that minus 2 is greater than 0? Now this is not true, because minus 2 is less than 0. So because of that, the statement is not true, it's false. Since it is false, it means the value of x cannot be between this. It will be outside that value, because it is not true that the value of x is in between here. That means it's outside these two values. So this value of x should be here. So it means that here the value of x is what? Less than minus 2. So it means the value of x is less than minus 2, less than or equal to. So it means that here the value of x is less than, so minus 3 is less than minus 2. Minus 4 is less, so the value of x is less than or equal to minus 2. And here also, the value of x is more than or equal to 0.5. So that means the value of x is greater than or equal to 0.5. You realize that this type of graph is not convergent. So you leave it like this. So x is less than or equal to minus 2, and x is greater than or equal to 0.5. So for the work practice, show graphically the solution set of the following inequalities. 1. X squared plus 6x plus 8 is less than 0. 2. 4x squared plus x minus 3 is less than 0. 3. X squared minus 7x plus 12 is greater than 0. 4. 6x squared plus 7x minus 3 is less than 0. 5. 3x squared minus 5x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. 6. X squared plus 6x plus 8 is less than 0. 7. X squared plus 5x minus 14 is less than or equal to 0. Please ensure you like, subscribe and comment on this video. Thank you.